Welcome to Out and About on the Recumbents. Let's go. Ride low. Ride recumbent. Hey, good morning. BJ and Joe Hondo out and about on the Recumbents. Passing on your left. And, today is Saturday, May 17th. Yeah. We finally got back from our week-long trip out to Clarksville, Tennessee to see our daughter Jen graduate college, which was really cool. And just before that, we drove from Colorado Springs to Memphis, and 2 days. Basically, we stopped just outside Oklahoma City for the night, and then we headed on in to Memphis, and then we spent the night in Memphis and we went on a Mississippi riverboat dinner cruise on a paddle wheeler, no less. Yeah, so cool. That's a bucket list, bucket list thingy, man. We really wanted to do that. We'd like to do, the one company has they have 8 and 9 day trips, in different parts of the Mississippi and other rivers. And then they have the big one, which is a 22-day trip that starts in Minnesota. Believe it or not, that's where the Mississippi River starts, more like a creek. But somewhere in Minnesota, they've got, it's big enough to handle the paddle wheelers or the river boats that they've got. Howdy. We prefer the old-fashioned paddle wheelers. And but yeah, it's a 22-day long cruise. It goes clear from Minnesota to New Orleans. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be the trip of a lifetime. Joe and I don't want to go on an ocean cruise whatsoever. That's just not our thing. But the paddle boat would be absolutely awesome. The 22-day. I mean, I'd be happy. We'd be happy with the 8 or 9 day. But that's what we're hoping. We might be able to pull off for our 50th wedding anniversary. This October it'll be 45 years. So we got 5 more years. And we're hoping to get a couple of loans paid off and be able to borrow the money to do it. So don't know when I know when. We'd like it to right around the October time frame, because our anniversary is October 3rd, and but we don't know if it's going to ever happen. So this was at least something, to make it so it's a good thing, So yeah, and then we got our other daughter, Candy, from Pulaski, Tennessee, drove up with some family, and we finally got to finally actually got to physically meet one of our great grandchildren. Her name is Bellatrix. Yeah, Bellatrix. And they just call her Bella for short. So, and she was a little sweetheart, boy. And we got to see our granddaughter Brianna, and she's doing really well, and that's really good to see. We got to talk to our granddaughter Ashley, but she couldn't make the trip up from Pulaski to Clarksville, actually to Nashville, because even though Jen went to school mostly in Clarksville, she had some classes in Nashville, and they had to have a bigger stadium for the graduation, so they had it at a different university. Well, they had it at a big university in Nashville. I'm trying to remember the name, but I can't. Oh, Lipcomb, kind of Lypcombe, Lipcomb, something like that, university. It's supposed to be a really good school. So, oh well, let me tell you where we are right now. We're on the Rock Island Trail. Like I said, it basically took us about 20 hours of driving each way, and we finally got back into Colorado Springs Thursday night at 6 p.m. and we realized we didn't have any food in the house. We did that on purpose, so nothing would rot or anything. So we went out and got ourselves a pizza. What's the matter? Joe's having a problem with her computer. I really got to get her the upgrade. That's the cheaper of the type of computers we've got. I've got the more expensive one because a friend of mine gave it to me for free. Thanks, Alan Wilk. Appreciate that. But so we didn't. Mine actually has where you can do a GPS in it, and actually track it and stuff. But we don't ever use that. So figure we really didn't need it. So we just decided to go with a little cheaper unit for Joe, and it works sometimes, and other times it just doesn't want to catch. It's like it loses the signal, and then she has to reestablish everything. So it's kind of a pain in the drain. So let's try to get up a little more money and get her a better, the better model. Mine is the company's name is XOSS, Cross, I guess. And I have what they call the NAV unit, NAV. And like I said, it's both a bike computer and a GPS tracker. But they're not cheap. They run about $70-$80. So hopefully I can come up with that. But there's a couple of the things I'd like to get her. When we had her e-assist system changed from the rear wheel hub to the inline, they put I guess it's supposed to be the hip and cool thing. Thank you. I guess it's supposed to be the hip and cool thing, and because it's a real little tiny display. But the problem of it is it's hard to read. We're 70 years old, and Joe only wears glasses because she had the big fancy eye operation, but she still has to use reading glasses, for close-up stuff. Well, with everything being so tiny, that makes it pretty close up. So that makes it really hard on her. So I'm going to see if I can't get her a display like I've got, because we both have Bafang motor units, so I don't know why this display wouldn't work. But I gotta call Angle Tech anyway. Howdy. And get to find out if they were ever able to order my howdy morning, the okay, what are they called? Now I can't think of the name. Oh, the ball joints from my trike. They were supposed to have an order for a trike from ICE, and they were going to hook them with that, so it wouldn't cost me, a whole lot of shipping. But I don't know if that ever got put together. And we've been gone since we took off May 10th, and we got back May 15th. So we've been gone for 5 days. And like I said, it was a road trip. It wasn't a vacation. A road trip, there's a difference between a road trip and a vacation. A vacation is where you go where you want to, when you want to, But a road trip means you got certain destination, places, or people that you got to get to. So this was definitely a road trip. And you figure it's the first road trip we've taken in 5 years. So Joe and I spent a lot of quality time in our car, in our rental car. Good thing it had a good air conditioner, and we finally figured out how to plug our old MP3 player into the car display unit. So we had good music. Our old MP3 player holds about 360 songs. It's an oldie. It's been around a long time. But it works really well. Yeah, it would have been really tough to try to work with, finding radio stations all the way across. Because there was some places in, Texas and Oklahoma that there was like nothing. I mean, because what we did is we headed out Highway 94 into the eastern plains of Colorado Springs. Then we headed south on South 71, picked up 50 heading east for just a little ways, and then we picked up 285 heading south, took that down through Dalhart and Dumas, Texas, Boise City, Oklahoma. Howdy. And then we took that all the way to Amarillo, and Amarillo, Texas. And then we picked up 40, and we were on 40 the whole rest of the time, all the way from Amarillo. Hello. All the way from Amarillo to Memphis, Tennessee. Weather was pretty good. We had a couple of times we got rained on, but not much. Either way, most time it was at least partly sunny. It was really warm when we got into Memphis. Boy. But by evening time, we had to, get back into howdy, long pants and long sleeve shirt, and brought our fleece jackets along with us, because being on that water with a bit of breeze, it made it a little chilly. But man, it was a 3-hour cruise, 7 to 10, just like Gilligan's Island, a 3-hour cruise. But luckily we didn't end up, stranded on an island in the middle of the Mississippi River. So I'm putting together a video. We have another little channel. It's just our personal channel, YouTube channel. It's called The Other Sides of BJ and Joe Ondo. And I'll get you URL, and I'll post it on the video if you have any interest of checking that out. It won't be very long, but I did get some, pretty good video of the river and the paddle, the actual paddle wheel mechanism working, and a really cool light display on one of the bridges that, it was cool. It literally went to the beat of the music that was being played on the ship. Well, it's not a ship, it's a boat. Always remember, you can put a boat on the ship, but you can't put a ship on a boat. Yeah, sorry about all the noise. We're at Union Boulevard and Constitution, as I said, on the Rock Island Trail. And yeah, well, everything lighted up, so hopefully my wireless mic is working. And yeah, we had an errand we needed to run this morning, and well, actually we're on the errand now, and then we'll head up and get us some lunch, and then we'll probably decide whether we're going to go all the way to the to Powers Boulevard, the end of the current end of the trail, of the Rock Island Trail, or we're just going to turn around and cruise back, maybe south or north or something like that. So yeah, so this is our first ride in 6 days, basically, man. I mean to tell you. And that road trip just flat wore me out. Joe had an appointment yesterday, so we couldn't do too much. Couldn't go for a ride. I had to turn the rental car in by 3 o'clock. So I spoiled myself and went grocery shopping with a car. I have to admit, our utility trailer works okay. It works okay, but to be totally honest with you, man, it's a lot easier going to the store in a car. Just a lot easier. Passing. Thank you. Have a good day. You too. Yeah, so now we're going to jump off the trail and go down to Walmart. We got to transfer some funds to Joe's Walmart card so we can pay a couple of bills, because they're set up on Joe's Walmart card. It's not a credit card, it's one of those money cards. But it works good because we can, just put the exact amount of money to pay the bills and their little fee, and we don't have to worry about, using our credit card or our ATM, which is the way I like it. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah. So, all right. You gotta. I only got one hand to brake with, so gotta kind of pump the brake. It's pretty good downhill. You could probably hit 20-25 miles an hour if you wanted to. 10 miles an hour. Oh, I doubt we're doing that. We're doing 8.8, so we're under the speed limit. Okay, yeah, like I said, we're rolling into our little Walmart neighborhood marketplace. Because this is the closest place she can load her card. All right. So, we will get back to you. Okay, well, we're back. Yeah, so we got our errand done at Walmart. And now we're back on the trail. And work our way up to Academy Boulevard. Let's see if we can get through under the tunnel under Circle Drive here. It looks dry today. Last couple times we came down here, it was flooded out. So they cleaned it up a little too. At least a little better than it was last time. At least part of it. Yeah, so just our first day to get back on the trikes. Getting a short ride. I apologize for the wind. It's quite windy today. It's not like super heavy, but there's some gusts probably up to 20-25. And a fairly steady, probably 10 to 15. And it's supposed to probably cloud up more this afternoon. But not supposed to be any real heavy chance of rain. There's a 20% chance, 3 to 4 p.m. and we'll probably be back before then. I don't know how much stamina we've got after the road trip. Boy, I mean to tell you, it just wore me out. Joe was able to sleep a little bit, not much, but I didn't get any. But I mean, I drove the whole way and there and back. But basically, Joe will take over if I need her to. And it's so funny because, maybe the couple of spots that I might have thought seriously about it, she was trying to sleep, so I couldn't take advantage. We on our way back, our daughter Jen gave us a different route to get down to I-40 West, and it was really, really pretty. Boy, Tennessee is green. Of course, they get a lot of rain there, but I mean, it's green. I mean, it's just like you're just going down the roads, and it's just solid green. Now, in Colorado, most of the time, you get up in the forest and stuff, there's breaks in the trees, but I mean, them trees, even through Arkansas, all the way through Arkansas, and up through Tennessee, I mean, those trees just they are thick. I mean, you can't even see into the forest, as the old saying goes, you can't see the forest through the trees. So yeah, we were just cruising along, singing at the top of our lungs. Luckily, nobody could hear us, so we tried to have a good time. It was a little bit of a rough. As we were heading back, we stopped in Henrietta, Oklahoma for the night, and we were getting really tired and really hungry, and we just so we found a little bit run down mom and pop motel, and it wasn't bad. It was a bit on the rough side, and then we had a couple of yahoos at at midnight, wanting to talk loud. Joe's heading for the light for me since I got the camera in my hand. She's really good about that. But yeah, so although we slept, I mean, the motel was nice and it was clean. It wasn't, there's no bugs that we saw. We stripped all the blankets and sheets off and checked for bed bugs. Didn't find any. So I figure if you can't find bed bugs, it's a good sign. But we're very fortunate because they had a really good little Chinese restaurant, you know, like within a block, maybe 2 at the most. And so we scarfed, baby. Okay, stop. Thank you. Some people, man, they know you're coming. You know, they can see you. You can't miss these trikes, okay?
You would not have stopped if you had your camera.
Yeah, Joe's right. If I didn't have a camera in my hand, he probably wouldn't have stopped. Probably would have cut us off. I do wish I had the money to buy one of those. There's a company. Well, actually, I think it's the same people that make a lot of GPSs. But they have a rear-facing bicycle camera and tail light called a Vario. And boy, I'd love to have that. That way, if somebody snuck up on us, you know, and tapped us, you know, we'd have physical proof. You know, because I don't always have a camera in my hand. But you know, that's another. Everything costs somewhere between $80 and $100, it seems. And we've got other places we need to spend the money. Like I said, my ball joints for the front end would probably be about $80. Plus, I don't know, probably another 40 or 50 if they can't stick them in with the ice trike they got ordered supposedly. Then it probably cost me $40 for shipping, because it is coming from England, you know. I mean, it's coming from a long ways. So, but it'll be worth it, because my front end has a little bit of slop in it, and you know, I mean, you can't expect everything. I mean, the bike is it's a 2011, you know, so it's working its way on 20 years old fairly soon, so got to cut it some slack. And it's not like it doesn't really affect the handling, you know, right now, but when he did the last alignment, it you know, he really had to do it hard to one side, and that usually means ball joints are wearing out. So luckily I only have to replace the ball joints and not the little tie rods that go with it. So the ball joints just screw right on. But then you need to align it and everything, and I don't have, I mean, I guess you can make a homemade tool, but I would much rather have they use up at Angle Tech, they use a laser to do the alignment. Yeah, an actual laser. It's pretty cool. So it would be 1,000 times more accurate than any homemade setup. So definitely want to have that done. Joe's catching the light for me. She's really good about that stuff. Very fortunate to have such a great bike partner. She makes taking videos a lot easier. This guy just ran a red light, sure as hell. Hey, you want to wait a minute? God, man, these people on Academy Boulevard and Constitution are horrible. I mean, they would literally chop you off if they could. Thank you. Let's see, there's a nice guy. He actually backed up for us. So, well, right now we've jumped off the trail again, and we're on the what I call the Academy Boulevard access path. It's just your basic double wide sidewalk, but we consider anything double wide a path. It's not an official trail, but it is a path. And we're going up here to the Maverick convenience station, and they have really good price on iced tea. Not quite as good as McDonald's, but close. But this has always got usually has some place we can sit inside and yet still see the trikes. Sadly, they do have a patio, but they took it down. Or they took all the chairs and tables out because the homeless were making permanent camps on their patio. So I understand, but it's really a bummer because today's a really nice day, even with the breeze. It's going to hit 70 some odd degrees. We're a little overdressed. We just we kind of dressed for fall because in the morning, that wind is kind of chilly. But now we're kind of overdressed. I'll probably roll up my sleeves and stuff here pretty quick. Yeah, it's been several days, probably almost 2 weeks since I've done any kind of a video. So figured it's about time to do one. I mean, I know you guys have seen Rock Island Trail 1,000 times, but oh well. We really appreciate you coming along for the ride with us. And if you like, please subscribe. We would love to have you as a full-time subscriber. And we are slowly working our way to 500. I think we're like 465 or something like that. Just got a new gentleman. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. It takes me a while to remember names. But he just signed up, so yeah. So it's great to know that the channel is being watched. We don't really we're never gonna kill you with we're not gonna do anything to ask you for money. Just not have no interest in that. We figure it's enough for you guys just to put up with our videos, mostly the same old places. Now you're probably asking us why we didn't take the trikes to Tennessee. Well, it's simple. Howdy? You cannot fit 2 recumbent tricycles in the trunk of a regular sedan. Absolutely impossible. So you just kind of have to, I don't know, this guy's not going to see me, so he didn't even look. He didn't even look, asswipe. Sorry, but makes me mad. At least he could acknowledge you're there. Okay, well, we're at the Maverick convenience station here. So we'll get back to you after lunch. Okay, well, we're back. Had our brown bag special for lunch, and now we're back on the Rock Island Trail heading east. This here is the intersection with the man, the memory sometimes, just too many trails. Oh, the Homestead Trail South. We're the Homestead Trail South and the Rock Island meet. Go to 2, dear. Just because I got this camera in my hand and I can't change gears. Yeah, because Jill has the, has her set at 5 levels. I have mine set at 9. Kind of noticed that her 2 is more powerful than my 2. I basically have to jump up to 3 to be able to keep up with her on an incline in her 2. But that would make sense because mine's more spread. Howdy. It's a gentleman we see quite a bit on the trails. I need to back out this gear one. Yeah, well, like I said, I hope you're out there getting a ride in yourself. And if you're not, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a really good day. I think today's supposed to hit about 73 Fahrenheit. I gotta check something real quick. Okay, it looks like it's on, so it hasn't shut off. Just checking my mic. Yeah, the receiver unit, because it comes in two pieces. It's a receiver unit and a the microphone itself. Howdy. And you pair them together. You turn one on, the first one on for 3 seconds, turn the other one for, and the lights blink, and then you turn the other one on for 3 seconds, and then both the lights on the receiver and the mic will quit blinking. Okay. Now we're going across Murray Boulevard with the new crossing. That is so nice. Well, it's not quite as new as it was before, but it's still new. So nice to have all those cars stopped, not have to play chicken just to get across the street, you know. The city did us cyclists and walkers a real favor, but howdy. Give you a little mountainy hills view rather. Joe kicked it up on me, so I got to kick it up. We've got a pretty strong headwind all of a sudden, so using a bit more e-assist than we normally would. I'm sure you can probably hear that wind. I do have the cat whiskers, as they call them. And synthetic hairy cover over the mic, so hopefully it'll drown out some of it, but it never drowns out all of it. Just can't do it. Bump. Yeah, some spots where the concrete is not perfectly even. But like I said, we're back on the Rock Island, heading east, heading for Powers Boulevard. Guy's cutting his lawn. Thank you. It would be great to own a home, you know, that just backs right up to a major trail. That would really be cool. I mean, we're really fortunate because our apartment complex does that now, but we really use a garage because we have a little 5 by 10 shed or storage unit where we keep our trikes. But sure, it'd be nice if we didn't have to walk, you know, a little over a mile just to get on the trikes, you know. At the apartment complex, we live on the second floor, but on the first floor there's a really tall stairwell and a fairly empty spot. Thinking about asking our property manager, aka landlord, if we could rent that spot for our trikes. That means we have to take the trikes up and down 5 stairs, but 5 stairs is not a big deal because we won't put the batteries on till after we got the trikes out front. Then we put the batteries on. So there shouldn't be any problem getting up and down the stairs. And when we want to put them away, we'd you know, take the battery off first, because that would really be nice not to have to do that extra walk. Not that, you know, I mean, the walk's good for us, but we're not as we're just not as strong as we used to be. But I'll tell you, there's a big difference between 60 and 70. And I know there are some, you know, folks that are really healthy at 70. I mean, we're okay, but I wouldn't consider ourselves really healthy. Just decently healthy. Although it's funny because, you know, like I said, we belong to PACE, and PACE Senior Care, and we're on their, they have all kinds of little programs, you know. So one of the ones we're on is their walking program, and we turn in our stats every month. They even gave us, you know, free, much more high-tech pedometer and watch, and you know, Brandy, who runs the program, I think she's an occupational therapist, is what she is. Basically, it's pretty amazing. She's always telling us that we're extraordinary, you know. We do seem to be, at least in general health, more healthy than about 95% of the folks that are on PACE. You know, because we don't need walkers yet. Now, don't get us wrong. We wobble a bit. We don't walk straight like, you know, we did when we were, when we were younger. In fact, it's pretty funny. Well, we say we list. Sometimes we walking together and we'll just kind of bump shoulders into each other, because we do. We kind of, you know, we kind of list in our older age. And, but we're still out there doing it. I did about 5 miles altogether yesterday, between the morning walk and the afternoon walk. But I will admit that the afternoon walk really wore me out, man. It really did. Well, and it wasn't a bad, you know, it's only 3 miles. It's not like it's killer, and it's basically flat. So, but just wore me out something terrible. Passing on your right. Thank you. Click, click. Oh, no, don't want that. Okay. That's a real good downhill. Start pedaling, Joe. I'm going to run you over. Howdy. Hello. Bump. But yeah, it's definitely a nice day. But I guess it's been, I said we left on Saturday the 10th for Memphis. What happened? Something made noise. I don't know. Everything's there. Huh, I don't know. Had a funny noise. Might have hit something on the sidewalk. Yeah, it's funny. You know, I keep forgetting that I've got the wireless mic, and I've got it, you know, clipped to my jersey, and I can actually, you know, talk anytime I want now. And, you know, have the camera at any angle I want. And my little homemade holder for the adapter and the receiver only works so well. I can't seem to find, you know, the perfect tightness, you know. Okay. Had to shift up a gear. Yeah, I've been thinking about trying to do a live stream, you know, and just, you know, just so we can just, I don't know, have a little more communication. And, you know, so if you guys like have any questions or comments about, you know, our site or us, or some information you'd like to know, it'd be kind of fun. I've never done one. Well, I've done one, but I don't know how to use the fancy program that a lot of everybody else uses. I'll just be using YouTube itself. But yeah, so if you guys come up with, you know, some topics of interest, or, and like I said, it can be anything. It can be, you know, it can be about the trikes. It can be about our gear. It could be about, you know, our personal life, or what's our favorite food, or, you know, that kind of thing. So, because let's face it, most of us seniors are definitely ride to eat to ride. Without a doubt. Thank you. All right, they are hauling buns. They got a really nice tandem. That's a co-motion. Those are like, you know, special made. Yeah. On some custom bicycles, you literally, they literally measure, you know, your arm length, your leg length, the bend in your knees, and everything else to try to make that that bicycle just fit you like a glove. And I geared up. Now I'm in too hard of a gear. It looks like they're, well, I guess they're just turning around. Oh, that's pretty. I would not put that nice tandem on on dirt. I just wouldn't do it. Yeah, that is a pretty bike, man. It's kind of a metal flake blue and silver, you know. One fades into the other. Yeah, we tried to get the city to make this trail here where this trash can is, because you can get, and it will take you over to I think it's Constitution Court, and then you can get on Constitution Avenue, and you could actually get across Powers on a light, and you know, across Powers, a lot of restaurants, you know, movie theaters, other stuff, you know, that this is just a piece of old railroad track that they left. And why they didn't cement the trail all the way to the end, we'll never know. Hopefully they will finish it when they do the next phase. And I thought they were supposed to already be starting it, but it doesn't look like they have. what's going to happen is we're going to come out on a in a cul-de-sac, and just to the right is an access road that heads south along Powers, and eventually they're going to build in a bike lane onto the access road, and then somewhere down towards Palmer Park Boulevard, they're either going to build a bridge over Powers Boulevard, this busy street out here, or they're going to go underneath Powers Boulevard, and so you can get to the other side. Oh, yeah, Joe didn't hit it fast enough. You got to give yourself a little bit of oof. I just slow down and let the e-assist kick me over. Okay, well, we're heading back down now, so it's going to be pretty much the same way. So when we come up to something different, or if I decide to do a part with just music, we'll get back at you. All right? Okay.
love somebody and they love you back. There ain't nothing like that.